What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel with your host that does the absolute most, Evan Youngblood Williams here. And in today's episode, we are going to be talking about the hyperperfectionist. Now, before I get into the episode, I noticed that the majority of y'all who watch my videos aren't subscribed to the channel. What's up with that? If you like the content that much, make sure to go ahead and click the subscribe button and hit that bell right next to it so you get notified every single Friday that I upload videos to this channel slash podcast, right? So that you can stay tuned and get more and more of the content that you love. So, without further ado, let's get into the video. All right, so the very first trait of the hyperperfectionist is that they are extremely hardworking and dedicated to the task at hand. Now, this is one positive trait that the hyperperfectionist has is their hard work and their focus to get the task done. And if you know anybody like that, you will notice that they put their heads down and they bury themselves into their work, and they are not going to stop until the task is done. And although this is a very positive trait of theirs, because the average person can't even focus for like, I don't know, 10 to 20 seconds on a task, these guys are so focused that they'll neglect everything. They'll neglect their health, they'll neglect their family members and friends, they'll neglect their significant others sometimes because they are so focused and so locked into the task. So that's one of the downsides of the hyper perfectionist. But the upside is that they are extremely focused on what it is that they're doing, and they do not like to be disturbed at all while they're working. So that's pretty much all I got to say for this trait. So let's move on to the next one. The second trait of hyperperfectionists is that they are extreme control freaks. Now, despite them having the trait of being hardworking and dedicated, they can also do it to the point to where they are extreme control freaks, meaning that they don't delegate any task to anybody. They want to be controlled from, they want to control every single little aspect that comes with the task that they're doing. And this can even translate to them being in business to where they have Superman or Superwoman syndrome, to where they feel like they just have to do absolutely everything, which is the reason why they are prone to burnouts and they are prone to health problems. And as with any, smart business owner would know, is that they eventually have to delegate certain tasks to people that are better than them in that task. But in the case of hyper perfectionists, they are not going to delegate anything because, they have like this extreme trust issue, and they have a certain way that they want their vision executed, which is, like I said, which is a positive trait of the hyper perfectionist, but it can also hinder their growth at the same time, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, financially, um, relationally, and business wise. And I've noticed that I have this trait within myself because, I would try to micromanage and control every single little thing, especially when it comes to, the manifestations, right? And if you guys have been on your spiritual path for a while, you would know that you create your own reality, and you are a co-creator with the universe. But at the same time, we want, instead of surrendering to the divine timing of the universe and God, we tend to want to control when the manifestation comes. And so we get impatient and we start making stupid decisions that further set us back from our manifestation in the first place. Whereas if we just trust and allow the universe to do its thing while we do our thing on the back end, then we will have a much easier time in life and with manifesting our desires. So, with that being said, moving on to the next trait. Another trait of the hyper perfectionist is that they have extreme trust issues. And the reason, and that's part of the reason why they are control freaks, is because they do not trust anybody to do anything that they ask them to do. And so they wind up taking, like I said, all of the burdens on themselves. And they have a hard time letting people in as a result of their trust issues. And, I used to be like this myself, to where, I would be so closed off to other people because, of how I was treated by, previous friends. I would just be like, nah, I don't want to open up to them. I don't want to be bothered right now. I don't want to do none of that. But the downside about that is, or the downside of that is that, when we have that extreme trust issue with or issues with other people, then it prevents us from building high quality relationships with anybody. And people after a while are just gonna walk away from you because they're like, damn, like this man or this woman is extremely, hard to, it's extremely hard for them to get them to open up. And they're constantly closing themselves off to me. So, no wonder why they're gonna turn the other cheek and walk the opposite way. And because of that, you wind up sabotaging a lot of relationships as a result of your cynicism. But after a while, you have to learn that you're gonna have to forgive people over time, because, or I mean, more specifically, you're gonna have to forgive the people that have hurt you, not for their own sake, but for your own sake, and so that you can heal, and so that you can really get your energies back into balance and start building powerful relationships with people. Because the only way you're going to do that is if you are open and vulnerable with people. You know what I mean? So please, if this sounds like you, go ahead and look within yourself and forgive all the people that have hurt you in the past or in the present, so that you can go ahead and build powerful, amazing relationships in the long run. All right? So, moving on to the next point. The very last trait of the hyperperfectionist is that they are prone to health issues. And like I told you at the beginning of this video, is that, they tend to burn out very quickly, and that burnout leads to health issues. For example, Robert Greene 2 years ago had a stroke, all because, he was working himself way too hard. And Robert Greene has mentioned in some of his interviews that he tends to work himself to the bone. And he said when he was writing The Laws of Human Nature, it felt like he was dying a little bit. And how I interpreted that was the fact that, you know, he wasn't listening to his body, even when his body was telling him, like, hey, I need a break, I need a break, I need a break, I need rest. And because he didn't listen to his body, he wound up having a stroke. And then he was forced to stop his work and go to the hospital and rest up. You see, when you don't listen to your body has a way of outsmarting you and shutting down when it feels inconvenient for you. So if you notice you have any ailments in your body, or you start feeling tired, or you start feeling any type of fatigue, or you start feeling hungry, please listen to your body. That is the smartest, most wisest thing that you can do. But for hyper perfectionists, they tend to work themselves so hard that they start really degrading their body. And their body starts getting old and rickety at a much faster rate because they're working themselves way too hard and they don't delegate anything to anybody. So, with that being said, I am going to end the video right there. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to go ahead and smash the hell out of that like button, so that, we can help boost this video in the YouTube algorithm, so that we can go help more and more people. And also, if you aren't subscribed to this channel yet, make sure to go ahead and hit that subscribe button below and hit that bell right next to it so you get notified every single Friday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time that I upload these videos. And if you're listening to the audio version on Anchor, make sure to go ahead and favor this podcast if you haven't done so already. And also make sure to go ahead and leave it a rate and review so that we can go ahead and get this podcast more exposure so that we can go ahead and help more people. And also, if you want to leave some voice clips, the link is in the description/show notes below. And I also have the link to the Laws of Human Nature book by Robert Greene, which is, like I said in the first two videos, or the first video that I believe that inspired this whole series in the first place. I definitely highly recommend that you go ahead and check the book out and read it for yourself, because it is jam-packed with a lot of high quality, valuable information. And last but not least, make sure to go ahead and copy some merch by clicking the link in the description below, such as what I'm wearing now, Spirituality Never Stops. So make sure to go ahead and purchase that shirt by clicking the link in the description below. And if you want to follow me on any of my social medias, then the link is in the description below on my link tree. And also, I want to congratulate and thank my significant other for inspiring me and pushing me always. Shouts out to her. She holds it down, and even when I feel like giving up and throwing in the towel and taking a complete detour from the path, she always reminds me to keep going. So make sure to go show her some love by following her on all of her social medias, her Facebook, her Instagram, and her TikTok. So go follow her on all 3 platforms. Okay? So, peace in and out with the highest vibes, and I'll see you guys next Friday.